Yep. Just hang on for a second. We're gonna go live.
My name is Abina Johnson, and this is Focus on Liberia. Hit it! From Cape Mount to Cape Palmer, Mount Nimba to Atlantic Ocean, Obomi Hills to Bokonjre, to educate, elevate, and promote. Talk about home affairs, hey, in diaspora, current affairs, reliable information, history, talking about culture, politics, education, entertainment, business, sports, advertisement, articulation. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around the globe. Good afternoon, Monrovia. Welcome to Focus on Liberia on Kear Radio 95.9. We're glad you can join us again on another Saturday. In studio today with us, we have the economics students from the University of Liberia, and they're going to be talking to us about what's been going on, some of the plans they have, and the endeavor that they are going upon. So sorry for us being late. We've had some technical difficulties. We're trying to work through those things. So just be with us here, as you know, sometimes how it can be in our beloved little Miami. All right. So we will definitely do what we can to bring them on and have them discuss the things they are going through today. So stick with us, and we will have a good show. We will have a good show. My co-host today is Thomas Cannon. Thomas, you're muted. How are you doing this evening, sir?
I'm doing very great. Nice to be here. I'm really excited today because I'll be talking to my colleagues.
That is great. Okay, so we're going to bring them on. So we have three gentlemen in the studio today. From my left to my right, I will allow them to introduce themselves and tell us just a little bit about themselves before we go into the full discussion.
Emmanuel Clechi, reading economic major at the University of Liberia, minoring in accounting.
Okay, all right. And what year student are you, sir?
I'm a sophomore student.
Okay, all right.
I'm Charles Gloripa, a senior student at the University of Liberia, reading economic major and minoring accounting. So I'm happy to be here and to talk to you also.
All right, sounds good. And I'll tell you, gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Mr. Padmore, and it's nice to be with you too, Mr. Cannon. It's my second time appearing on Focus on Liberia. I was invited firstly by Mr. Dennis Jha to discuss issues concerning unemployment and underemployment amongst the Liberian youth. My name is Wimot D. Rede, and I'm a sophomore economics student at the University of Liberia. And we are here primarily to discuss about our participation in the challenge that is called the Economic Impact Challenge. And we look forward to having a nice conversation with you. Thank you.
Okay, sounds good. But let's get in. Then let's get into it. I'll give you guys the floor. Why don't you guys tell us a little bit about this economic impact challenge? What is it? When is it going on, and how you guys are participating in that?
So yes, once again, I'm Charles Gloripa. This challenge is among 9 universities in Liberia, in being hosted by organization based in Nigeria and partnering with another organization, Youth for Change in Liberia. And this organization based in Nigeria is called the Africa Future Economic Leader. And this is a competition in twofold: advocacies and research. But it is all centered around a particular agreement, which is the Africa's Free Continental Trade Area agreement that Liberia signed in 2018 and ratified in 2019, but was officially launched on January 1st, 2021. This Africa's Free Continental Trade Area agreement is all about uniting or integrating the 54 African states to a common market, because their goal is for reduction to reduce tariff between African nations, where they will have a smooth trading, intra-economic trade, integration. So now they are providing Liberian students, especially econ major or minor, the platform to read around this agreement, carry on awareness, because there are many people who are involved in the small and medium business enterprises who don't know. And let's say, for example, we have a cocoa producer in Nima County who want to export his commodity, but he's kind of thinking on the tariff barriers and things. But with after they reduce the barrier on exported commodities between African countries, because they realize that over the time 14% of the trading can be done between African countries, while the rest is done between African countries and the rest of the world. So we are here to make an awareness, which is part of the advocacies on businesses, that there is a means of exporting your goods outside Liberia with less breading.
Okay, awesome. And you said there are 9 universities that are involved in this.
Yeah.
So what part are you guys playing in it?
So they like, while we go through the training, our part here is, because as I said earlier, the competition is in twofold. Research, we'll be doing a research on this agreement, and we'll be doing our advocacies, be it or awareness advocacy or a call to action advocacies. So we are here today to educate the Liberian people that about this agreement, especially people that are involved into business, people that are involved into exporting of goods. Because one of the goals of this Africa Free Continental Trade Area agreement is to reduce the dependency of or import driving country like Liberia. Yeah. So once you have your commodity, your goods produced in Liberia, and you want it to go cross border, and especially our female traders who don't want to be involved into a breeding like hard tariff, hard tax and things. But with after and with this agreement, if we come to call upon the Liberian government to add this agreement, because it already been ratified in 2019. Yeah. So this is our awareness to the public, especially those that are involved into business. And we look forward also to going into a call to action campaign, where we will meet with government officials or even the legislature at large, to see how best we can put forth this to give Liberian business the right or the freedom to export from Liberia to other African countries with less tax burden.
Okay, all right. So let me ask you a question over there. So if it's me now, and I got my little cocoa business Grand there, you know,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
and I'm hearing this on the radio for the first time. So what should be my next step? What should I do? Should I how do I start this process?
Yeah. So now through the awareness, we are calling out there to local business people, especially small and medium business enterprises, to join us. So now it's just a awareness we are doing, and we want our voices to go out there. We want to get the targeted audience, which is something that is just playing around. This is something that Liberian government signed in 2018 and they rectify it in 2019. So it's something, but it's not really active. There are little business people who know about the Africa's free continental trade area. As you said, you may have your product, your cocoa in whatever country in Liberia, and you wanted to go out there. It's possible. With after it's possible, because when you read one of the goal, after reduce 90% tariff on goods and services between African nations. So once you are a business president and hear this, it is our pleasure. At least you will help to spread the message, at least for us to reach to where we want it to go. And once that is done, we can have a smooth intra-economic integration between African nations.
Okay.
Yeah, but just
Thank,
to add up to what Charles has been saying,
Yeah, go
Charles is
ahead.
our team. Charles is our team leader here, so you have more conversation from him and more engagement from him. But however, as you have been saying explicitly, a challenge is in two folds. One is advocacy, and the other is research. So right now we are doing our advocacy portion of the challenge, and as part of the advocacy portion, we have to go to small and medium enterprises. We have to go to businesses, especially small and medium enterprises, those small businesses that operate in our country. And we have to visit the market, we have to visit cobblers and other people to inquire from them as to how they are doing that business. But one thing that got me excited yesterday was the president executive order he introduced into our country yesterday, executive order I think 151,
Yeah.
wherein he said that each robot that are being tapped from Liberia should be produced and to have a production center in Liberia instead of them being taken out of our country and then manufactured there and then brought back to us so that we can purchase them. They should be done all year. And that I think is a means of um, channeling our aim and then accomplishing our goal of bringing this African free continental trade to fruition. Because the idea of the African continental free trade agreement is that we want to create a single market, and that single market that the African Union thought about creating through the African Continental Free Trade Agreement is primarily meant to boost African trading sector, most especially for small and medium enterprises. But mind you, if that happens, you get to the realization that Africa's economic status on the globe will increase. Our GDP per capita will increase. The GDP per capita is the um, total amount of people that are in the country, but then the income that each one of them can be able to receive from from the country total GDP, or from the continent's total GDP. So now, if this African Continental Free Trade Agreement is really practical in our African continent, you get to the microeconomic um, engagement will be bring this to resolution, and then our continent can be able to flourish, and we can get rid of neocolonialism and then other things that hinders our continent and leave us at the back.
Okay,
Okay.
to just on what Weapon just said.
Yeah.
So the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement, it is an agreement in which we we are partaking in to see how best Africa can be united as one, to have a one common market. For instance, if you are going for goods, Africa, Nigeria, Senegal, or whatsoever part of Africa, that you'll be able to trade within your local currency. You'll not have more tariff on goods, and you'll not get that too much challenging or problem on currency issue. You'll be free to trade within your local currency. And also it will be able to help the small medium enterprise business people, because you find out that those people that are bringing the goods into the country based on the high tariff, they impose the price on the goods very high. in a sense that if the small medium enterprise commodity people go for the goods,
Mhm.
they can have no profit because the profit will just be like 1% profit. And that profit can even help in order to grow the business or for the business to advance. And also the after will also help Liberia in a sense because you when you go in the Liberian market, we have a lot of foreigners that are controlling our market. So after it's also working on this to see how best more Liberians can get into this business field because it will help Liberians to know how well they run in their country and it will not be run by foreigners because if you go out there to the market area or Indian man or Lebanese man control the stores and until you say this is the price, you don't have any right or to say, oh, why you make this high or why you impose the price on the goods because the tariff the man has spent on the goods from the port before it reach to the store, he has spent a lot of money. So these are things that after trying to implement in Africa to have a one market in order for all African nations to what? To work in according with it, same as the European Union have one single market. And then by 2035, we'll have a GDP around 3.4 billion if this agreement is fully implemented among the African nation.
Uh, all
Okay,
right,
go
Yes.
ahead.
guys.
Go ahead, Tom.
So, thank you very much. So, like I said, I'm the resident economist on Focus on Liberia. So, I'm really excited about you guys' involvement in the advocacy and research related to the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. So, I just wanted to give a bit of a background, some of which you guys have discussed. So, this is something that has come a long way. So Africa, especially under the AU, started working on this free trade area as far back as in 2013. Even
Sure.
before 2013, people were talking about it. And like you all have said, if you look at the continent, we trade mostly outward than inward. And part of the problem is that much of what we have to sell are raw materials, which are not used on the continent. So if you look at Liberia, for instance, we have iron ore, we have rubber, but we don't have other African countries who have manufacturing industries that can take what we export. So you will see that much of our export goes out of the continent rather than within the continent. So after many years in 2023, the African Union governments actually adopted it in three areas: competition, intellectual property, to be able to improve intra-African trade. So the Secretariat for AFTA actually sits in Ghana, where all of the work related to AFTA is being carried out. So like you all have said, this is something that we need to really advocate about in terms of whatever the government of Liberia needs to do for us to be able to move the implementation forward. But the only thing we can do to be able to benefit from AFTA is for you to produce something that other people need, right?
Yeah,
So that
yes.
means
Yes.
we need to add a little bit of value to what we are producing locally. For instance, we have a lot of logs, we have forests. If we start to produce furniture, we produce beds and other things, then we can sell it to other African countries. But if we only continue to produce raw material, gold, iron ore, diamond, we might not be able to trade well within Africa. So I just wanted to add this background context to everything that you guys have said. The advocacy is something good that we need to work on. But again, it comes back to the point that Liberia as a country, we have to develop clear strategies on how we can tap into value chains that we can be able to trade nationally. So the Pan-African payment system that you described was actually developed by Africa Import and Export Bank. It's called African Bank. So they developed that payment system in such a way that you can be able to trade across African countries. So if you are going to Ghana, for instance, you don't need Liberian US dollars. You can get onto that platform. You can pay through Liberian dollars, and then the person in Ghana can get the money through CDs. So this is something good. We just keep asking you guys questions. I just wanted to add the context to it. So per capita GDP, for the person who was talking about it, is not really money that citizens can get, right? It's just taking the
Yeah.
whole it's taking the whole country GDP and divided by the
You
population.
divine it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say. But
Yeah,
I
so
didn't mean money not going there.
no, I'm saying this because my father normally used to say that in the 80s, when Joe was president, right? Somebody
Yeah, yeah.
defined per capita GDP and they thought that that money was actually going to go to them. So he will always say that we kept waiting for that money until the war came and we didn't get the money. So I just wanted to come back to it. So it's just taking our GDP divided by the total population. But the more per capita income goes up, the more the well-being, the
The
more
standards of living.
Yeah.
right is expected if distribution is taking place.
Sure.
Sure.
Okay, gentlemen. So we've heard a little bit about the advocacy part. Does somebody want to tell us a little bit about the research part that will come later on?
Yeah. So for the research, uh, it is linked with the advocacies. So we will not be giving like a specific topic, but through the advocacies, we can identify something that will suit a research topic that we can read on. Maybe we want to uh through our advocacy we find a specific topic like minimizing Liberian domestic product, and something that we found very interesting, that but it should be relating to the Africa free continental trade area. Yeah. So, but the first sector of the competition here is the advocacy, because it is from the advocacy now we will find something what we see out there, because we'll be moving from here. We're not just engaging radio station. We are going up there to meet small and medium business enterprises that are involved into cross-border trade. So it is from that will come up with something that we see, maybe a challenge or something that we see that when we read agreement.
So Charles has already explicitly said it. Like we said before, the challenge is in two folds: research and advocacy. So the research linked with advocacy, and through our advocacy, we will be able to get research topic, and then we'll be able in status quo and as to how we can be able to find suitable solutions to try to surmount the problems that exist. So we have already made engagement with our university, the Students Affairs Department to the University of Liberia, and they gave us green light. So our aim and our goal is to use the media, is to go out to the market, is to talk to our friends, to talk to their friends, to make everyone in Liberia and as far as the continent of Africa to be aware about the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, because it is for our own benefit. If a person trade their good from Guinea to Liberia with low tariff, you get to the realization you have a positive reflection on each citizens of Liberia based on the prices that will be attached to those goods. And that is our aim. So we have met with our university, we have met with some political parties like the Student Unification Party, and then with other some political parties that we think can be able to help us. And so we thought it wise to use the media to raise the awareness as well. And we look forward to having more engagement, engageful conversation concerning the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, and not just the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, but also around our subject of study, economics.
Okay, to just on what Raymond just said, because we are working as team comprising of 7 members. So maybe they coming here for the first time. Next meeting will be able to bring 2 female with 1 male. Instead of the same team being here to be able to give you more information, because this advocacy is not just based on 3 person. No, we are working as team. So after now names for 2 or 3 person to carry the information out there. After goal is if you are doing or awareness, that for instance you meet 100% and you having to meet that 80% is not aware of the agreement, that is a plus for after. That is what they are targeting. They are not looking for people who is already informed. They want to get people that is not informed because they want for their voice to be heard in Liberia. That is why they tolerate to host this challenge in order for the university to volunteer to read this message out to the Liberian people and to the government.
So just for the listening audience, so the competition is that these 9 universities are competing on public education, or is so how do you compete with the other 8 universities? That when you go to one radio, they go to the next one. You go to one community, they go to the next community. What's the actual nature of the competition among the universities?
All right. So let's say for one to become a winner, so there's other criteria you got to submit because like I just want to get into it. So let's say for example the advocacy aspect, we have received link from the organizer that we have to submit videos, pictures, testimonials demonstrating our awareness because you're not just going to say, oh, we may have, why is the evidence? How far your measure have reached? So it is bounding upon us to submit on the final day of this of submitting. Now we got to submit our work, and the work comes in the form of photos, video, testimonials, and so on. So for the research, we have to do a normal research now, like or thesis, some normal research, and after the advocacies, maybe when we get a very unique topic, yeah. So all of the universities is, let's say, putting on their and go on a creativity level, yeah. So you just gotta be creative to win this. You gotta be creative. You gotta push the message out there. That's why we're looking for a wider platform where our voices will go out there.
Yeah,
Thank you
as for
very
me,
much.
That
you
sounds
know, I would like to build our advocacy mainly around how we can be able to try to accomplish the goal as young African and as students about making many people aware about the African Continental Future Agreement. The idea about making our voices heard for the competition to be won by us. Even though I want to become the winner of the competition, but that doesn't really resonate with me. What resonates with me here is the idea of me making my voice heard by other people concerning the African Continental Future Agreement. And that was why I decided to engage, focus on Liberia so that we can be able to make an appearance and then we can be able to engage with the listening audience and to be able to inform them about these economic issues our continent and more specifically our country Liberia is stagnated with. So now, uh, Mr. Kane, as focus on Liberia, resident economist, I would like for the conversation to be mainly built around these things so that we can be able to really educate the people instead of focusing on the competition and then the other universities. Though it would be great, but we should be able to educate the people on the African Continental Free Trade Agreement and then on some other economic issues and problems that our country, Liberia, and our continent is facing.
okay.
Okay.
Educating
So so
educating the
so
public.
so
So
so, so
you're listening to Focus on Liberia here on Kear Radio 95.9 this morning. My co-host and I, Thomas Kenner, are speaking to students from the University of Liberia Economics Department concerning free trade in Liberia and the advocacy and research that is going on right now that has evolved into a competition. I have a question for you guys here. So, do you guys have any plans of reaching out beyond Monrovia into the other 14 counties?
Yeah, let me go there. Yes, this whole competition is like a zero budget. Yeah. and we into this non-income earners. Yeah. So, but the plans are there to be real. We have plans to, because you will realize that those that are involved in the agricultural sector, they
Yes.
are mostly from out there.
Yes.
Yeah. So we based in in Monrovia, Morado County. There is less agricultural activity going on here. So, like Mr. Cannon said, to be engaged fully in this agreement, you should produce something that the other country need. Yeah. So all around the world, there are some commodity produced in Liberia that is useful around the world, even all of Africa. So like this, for example, palm oil. In America, they have African market. People sell all these things there. So our voice meaning should be restricted to people that is into this, like people who are on the field, the agriculture and the manufacturing sector, because the agriculture sector gotta be strengthened for us to really feel the impact of this agreement. I tell you for free, we can come here from morning to win to Sunday. Once our message don't reach the targeted audience, we not feel the impact of this agreement on the Liberian society.
Exactly.
So who are those targeted audience? Our mom and dad who take their hopes and things, go on the farm, go in the agriculture sector, the manufacturing sector, and the primary sector now. Yeah, those are in the primary sector, those are in the secondary sector, those are transforming raw material to finished goods. These are people we want to educate. So if when you ask us now, yeah, when we have means of mobility around, let's say Oxford Maserado, like we
Yes.
can just a son or Vigo or something, like facilitate or financially to be where you see all in Nimba, you see all in Mangibi, Maryland and thing.
Yeah.
So like I said, we are all non-income earners, and we will try to lobby around the university because we are representing our institution to see how best we can go out there, yeah, to go to the real sector, to go to people that need to hear this, yeah.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So the people are listening to you. Our students are here. They're trying to do big things right now, and it's going to take effort for them to do that. So if you are listening out there, the Rubber Planter Association, Small Crops Association, we have these students out here, and you can definitely reach out to them. And if you can give them an audience, they have something to teach, and they have something to advocate for. You guys talk about tariffs a lot. Thomas, you had a question?
No, I just wanted to ask the team. The AFTAR is an AU initiative, and therefore the implementation is going to be done by host countries,
Yes,
and
that's
they
what I was
coordinate among themselves. So, in the government of Liberia, which institution you guys think is the lead institution when it actually comes to the implementation of AFTA in Liberia? And are you guys engaged with that institution?
So we are engaging with, we want to engage with Ministry of Commerce. We want to engage with especially the host of legislators, because they were the one when this agreement was ratified in 2019, it was to be put into action, implementation action, policy making. So that's what uh we are team, and we are still doing our research. We are still lobbying around with people to educate us while to get to the targeted audience. That would be a call to action advocacies. When we are meeting the government or those in the position of making the decision, then we go as a call to action. But for now, we we just want to give this as an awareness. But we look forward working with you behind the scene. Yeah. If there's any insight or any education you can share to meet the targeted people that are in position or those that are in the red seat to push this, we will welcome that. Yeah.
Awesome,
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah, I
Yes,
know what Emmanuel
and that
was
was
saying
where my
before.
question was coming from because you guys talk a lot about tariffs, and the sole responsibility of tariffs comes from taxes, come from our legislature, and then the executive implements that. So that was going to be one of my questions. Are you guys reaching out to those people to find out, what are their plans, and even to provide some education? You'll be surprised what you can teach your lawmaker concerning economics and about free trade. So if you guys, if any of our representatives out there are listening, our senators are listening, especially the House Committee on Finance and Commerce, the Senate Committee on Finance and Commerce, our university students from the economics department are out here discussing the Africa Free Trade Agreement, and they're looking to engage with you to find out what Liberia is doing and what are the steps moving forward to hurry up and move this forward. As they said, it was signed in 2019. Implementing should have started January 2021, and we are already past January 2025, and things are slowed up. So if you are listening, definitely they're waiting to engage you and to see how we can move this along. Thomas, did you have any other questions for our people out here?
Before we move
Yes.
forward, I would like to make some addition to
Okay.
Charles.
Yes.
So, we before coming here, we have been doing extensive research, and we have been reading around this particular African continental free trade, any education for the listening audience, and then to our peers and to small and medium enterprises. However, on July 31st, 2024, the Ministry of Commerce, which is one figure or arm that is really pushing this particular African continental free trade agreement on our Liberian soil, and they did a ratification of the AFCFTA agreement, and then they were applauded by the Secretary of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, His Excellency Wamkili Mani. So I would like to make that education concerning the ministry or the particular entity in Liberia, that government entity in Liberia, that have been making that advocacy. So we have learned about the Ministry of Commerce, and we as well, since the competition had just begun, we thought it wise to use this particular first opportunity to make our voices heard. So our minds are wide. We plan on doing greater things to make this thing to be known by even the person that tap or in Grand Pastor County, person that tap rubber in Mangibi County. So we hope to meet the legislature and then to be able to provide an idea to them concerning this particular thing, and then as to how they can work on the tariffs that are skyrocketing on the Liberian imported goods.
Yes,
So,
to just add on what we must say, because I think, but if I and your last name, I know Michael, Mr.
Cunning.
Mr. Khan, okay, Mr. Pambo.
Yes.
You're talking about like how will the government be able to have more revenue because they have the base on where they have their income from tariff. So we are not just saying that tariffs on goods and commodities should drop to that extent. We are doing the awareness today, and we are planning to meet with Tata business people in Liberia. For instance, he has somebody that exporting, importing goods into the country to that extent, supplying all of local businesses. These are people we want to engage with to see how best, what are some problems, what are some challenges they are faced with the import of the goods into the country, what are the fare they pay at the port. These are the engagement we are trying to do. And also we'll try our best to get at the free port, because most often business people always complain. They say the tariff at the port is very high. Saying that you have somebody who is importing goods from China will be able to import his goods to Guinea, because at Guinea the tariff is less, and then they will transport it by road to reach in Monrovia. So these are some of the challenges business people are faced with in Liberia. So we'll try our best as students, not just because we are partaking in this competition. It is not all about our focus as an economist or future economy of Liberia. We are trying our best to see how best our government can help in the process to implement these policies. So we'll try our best to reach out there to know what's happening at the port, to know what's happening for Eastern beer factory, Coca-Cola, and all of big factories that operate in Liberia, if they are exporting more or importing more, to see their positive and negative side on the business aspect.
Thank you. So just for guardians' purpose, I keep hearing the legislature. So there is when Liberia when the AU actually agree on the framework agreement, like you said, our legislature already rectified in 2019, right?
Sure.
So that means the action that the legislature needed to take, they had already taken the action. So once it is rectified, it falls back to the executive branch of government for implementation. And like you said earlier, within our government, the Ministry of Commerce and Industry is the one responsible for trade. So I think right now they are even developing a new trade policy for Liberia. I also do know that they've been working with some other international partners to develop a strategy for the implementation of AFTA in Liberia. So I will encourage you to engage more with the Ministry of Commerce. If they finalize the strategy, try to get a hold of it. So then your advocacy will be more on the implementation side now. So even when you go to meet the lawmakers, it should be more from the side of advocacy. So if implementation is now moving forward, they can call the Ministry of Commerce to say, we rectified the AFTA agreement in 2019. Where are you with the implementation? So the advocacy to the legislature should no longer be around rectification. It should be more about oversight for what? For implementation. But we encourage you to actually meet with the Ministry of Commerce. I think they have some documents around. They should have a strategy already finalized, which you can use as part of your advocacy.
Thank you so much.
All right, that's awesome. Once again, you guys are joining us. Thank you for joining us here on Focus on Liberia in collaboration with Kear Radio 95.9 on this Saturday afternoon in Monrovia. And we are presently speaking with students from the University of Liberia Economics Department as they discuss a challenge they recently entered and in the Africa Free Trade Agreement. In I won't say in collaboration, but surrounding the Africa Free Trade Agreement. So, of course, our Commerce Minister, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that's Madame Dagose. Yes, and so if you are listening or any of your lieutenants or assistants are listening to the program, the University of Liberia students from the Economics Department are looking to engage with you for an exchange of information on what the Liberian government is presently doing to facilitate the agreement that was signed in 2019 and started implementation in 2021. Okay, so gentlemen, we've talked a lot about what you guys are hoping to do and all of that. So my next question to you then would be, what is your next step after here? I mean, you've done a lot of advocacy. You're on a big platform. The people of Monrovia are listening to you. We are hoping that government officials Members of the legislature are listening to you. Even smallholder farmers are listening to you. So my question, what is your next step moving forward?
So our next step is going out there, meeting the real people, the small and medium business enterprises, because now our little hold on is because we want to we are working on getting our few equipment for us, like we need marks, we need camera to, because we're going out there, we need videos. Yeah, we need to talk to the people, the small business, the small and medium business enterprise. We want to know their challenges, what they are facing, especially those that are involved in the cross-border trade. Yeah. So next week we are stepping to on our feet. We want to hear from them. If we even have chance to meet with people that are involved into transport transporting goods within, how they call it, Liberia, like maybe taking goods from the rural area, bringing it to more, they are faced with some difficulty to, like, transportation and things. So if possible, you are bringing palm oil from Lofa to Monserrato, but if possible, also you can take your palm oil from Monserrato to Guinea, from Monserrato or from Liberia to Ghana, from Liberia to Nigeria, or other commodity that you are, other finished goods that you are producing. Okay, let's say the what the government, the president order yesterday, banning the exportation of unprocessed raw material, rubber.
Yeah.
So if you have a rubber factory, now you are no longer exporting the raw material, you are rather going through the secondary process, transforming those raw material into finished goods. So if you producing finished goods like tires, and you want your tires to go out there to other African countries, but you are looking at the tariff, because one of the key goal on this agreement is the reduction of tariff on goods. So you don't want to go into that breading. So you see that, all right, if I prefer to sell my tire domestically and get what I can get, than for me to go into breading when my tire even leave the port to go into into other countries. So all that, but with after said the reduction of tariff is 90%. It won't be 100% because we use economy, we use tariff to protect our local industry, we use tariff to stop the importation of harmful commodity. Yeah, so it won't be 100%, but 90% reduction in tariff between African countries. Yeah,
Awesome.
so our next step there is going out there and meeting the real people, especially those that are involved in soup. Because doing a 5-day training, the people really they make emphasis on the small and medium enterprise. So now we want to, yeah, the small and medium enterprise doing our 5-day training, they make emphasis on them. So we are going to meet them. We have already like contacted a few factories, like we saw a slipper factory around the Mambagle Bill. We want to meet them and discuss and educate them on the agreement that it is possible that your finished goods, your slipper can be exported into other African countries with less bread. Imagine you exporting your slipper from Liberia to Pretoria, South Africa. That's a big blow.
Yeah.
That's a big blow for us. Yeah, but it can happen. And also, once this agreement is implemented, Liberian now have to strengthen their manufacturer or sector, because you cannot export things that people already have. You need to go outside the bounds. You need to export things that will be attractive, things that is needed, things that the outside world needs. Yeah. So other country that is not ready into rubber, because now country like Morocco, other country that don't have rubber as a major resource, they are doing recycling. If they import material, they recycle them. So these are countries we have to engage with. Yeah, maybe it can be a contact between Liberian or company in Liberia and another company, water company in Morocco. Like, I'll be producing your mineral bottle and be exporting it to you, since you are lacking the resource of rubber. So Liberian, we gotta now open our thinking cap. Once we add this become effective in our area, we have to now go beyond the box, think what is needed of those real commodity that yes, that when you go out there, people will come for them, and while after is there easing the burden of tariff and intra economic integration.
Thank you, guys. So let's elevate a bit because you guys are reading economics. I'm sure the person who's a senior student maybe might have already read trade. You might have read around trade, right?
Sure.
And you guys have discussed that a bit. But just think continent-wide, if you look at Africa as a continent for now, what are some of the challenges that you think we will face with the implementation of AFTA?
Well, I think first of all, there are so many problems that we will have in implementing this particular agreement, more especially in years to come. And one of the problems that I see is the differences in currency that we have, more especially on our continent. And Africa is the second largest continent in the world. We have about 54 countries with a lot of currencies. So, currency may be one of the barrier to hindering this particular agreement from being implemented. And then our borders and our immigration system, which will try to hinder this particular thing. And that is one of the side, as for me personally, my advocacy will come from. Because if this thing will happen, then the immigration system in Africa need to be coordinated effectively to ensure that those slippers or buckets or plastic bottles that are being produced in Liberia can be exported to Guinea, can be exported to Sierra Leone and some other African country on a very low tariff basis. And that will enable the agreement to be implemented efficiently and effectively. So with that, those are some of the barriers that I see from my end. I believe my colleague will be having some to list.
Thank you. So it's good as we do the advocacy, we also have an idea of the difficulties that are there. So when you engage your government, you engage your ministries. So you will see, for instance, that, okay, the Ministry of Commerce has the responsibility to develop the trade policy, right?
Sure.
But for you to take your goods from Liberia to Ivory Coast, what do you need to take the goods to Ivory Coast?
Well,
You need road. You need road, right?
you need road, yeah, you need road.
Right. And which ministry is responsible to build that road?
Public work.
Public work
Ministry of
responsible to
Public Work.
build. Who's supposed to give the money to public work to build the road?
Finance.
Who's supposed to allow finance to give that money to public work?
Well, they got it. We got our fiscal.
The legislature.
Yes.
The point I'm making here is that for us to be able to benefit from AFTA as a country, it has to be a whole of government approach, right? So that's why I'm bringing all of these actors so that when you are engaging at different levels, you know what are the concerns to take to each of these levels. For instance, if you look at what is happening in the country, the Ministry of Public Work is focusing on building some roads that are connecting us to other countries. You know the Logatua Road, right?
Yes.
I think with support from the African Development Bank or the EU, they have built that road. Now they are trying to build a road from Brangida to connect to Ivory Coast. So all of these roads that are being built, the Bowater Side Road, I think 2 weeks ago they announced that they were going to be building it to make a 4-lane. So all of these roads that are being built is actually to be able to improve connection between us and our neighbors. So if you have slippers in Liberia, you can easily get it across the border to what? To Sierra Leone. If you have products that you produce in Liberia, you can get it to Guinea and get it to other places. So it's like we have to do a lot. The Ministry of Commerce, for instance, has an entire department on small businesses. They call it SBA, Small Business Administration. So they need to build the capacity of these small, medium, and macro enterprises to grow so that they can identify specific value chains. Like you are talking about Morocco does not have maybe rubber. Those businesses will have to identify those value chains, do their analysis, do their market plans, so that they can be able to produce and tap into those markets. So it's going to be all of us working across the government,
Yeah.
from agency to make sure that we benefit from this. The other thing, continental wise, that is going to affect us is the issue of peace and stability, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
you
yeah.
can't easily trade with a country that is in war. We still
True.
have a couple of other African countries that are not stable, that are not peaceful, is going to create a problem. And then road connectivity. How do you get goods and services from Liberia to Mali, for instance? It's going to be difficult. So, I mean, I just wanted to make sure that you guys understand those difficulties that are there. So, even though there is a lot of excitement about the implementation of AFTA, but it's going to be moving gradually until we address all of these bottlenecks that we have.
Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. That's great to hear. Yeah, do any one of you guys want to expound on what our resident economist just spoke about? Because the first thing that came to my mind was just crime and the Zogo problem. Something as basic as that is can hinder trade. If you're in Ivory Coast, do you want to bring your goods across the border and travel if you're afraid of Zogos? So you guys have a lot, a whole expansion of government that you can interact with on different levels. I'm excited for you guys. Man, you guys take me back to my school days. I'm serious. I'm excited for what you guys can do. Interacting with different government agencies across the spectrum on something like this. That's great. That's amazing. I hope this is not the last time you guys come through. I'm
Yeah,
hoping
yeah.
you guys can come back to us later on and tell us the interactions you've had with various agencies, what you have learned, what you have been able to teach them, and
Yeah.
and how that has changed your perspective from when you started to when you guys got to that point. I
Yeah.
hope you
So
guys can do that.
yeah, let me just come in. Yeah. So like I said, after the advocacies, we are to come up with a report, and we'll do like 10 to 15 minutes presentation of that report, outlining our challenges, what we achieved, what we learned. Yeah. So we promise you that once we are done with our advocacies and compile our report, we'll come back here and like display them to you, what we fixed with in the real world, what we went through, what trying to collect data, because this advocacy also will be collecting data for our research, because when we want to have a quantitative research mentor, we need figures blending with, because we want to blend the two mentors, quantitative and qualitative. Yeah, what will be describing and also be using figure to describe like what we saw on the feed. Yeah. So we are promising this won't be our last time. Even before the report, we we are hoping to come back here to explain anytime we have maybe hitches that we want to explain to get a broader understanding, because we are in a learning curve.
Yes.
We are in a learning curve. I, currently I don't see this as a challenge anymore, because this agreement was something I wasn't into. But since we went through the 5 days training and I tried to research around this agreement, I saw it like something I got to put myself into. It is our business. Yeah. Tomorrow I may be into a business where I'll be doing like exporting and importing goods. So I will come back to the same old thing that we are discussing here. Yeah. So once we still have a hard tariff, like my brother said, I will try to bypass like transporting my goods from other countries to maybe Guinea and bringing it back to Nigeria, because they are afraid of what they will face at the Freeport of Monrovia. So this is not just a competition for us anymore. It is something that we have put ourselves into. It
Yeah.
is something we want to make a change. Like it is something that we see, we want to see, we want to display in a real world happening. Yeah.
Sure.
Awesome. Okay, so that is great. That is great. Thank you, gentlemen, so much. To our audience out there, you've been with Focus on Liberia, in collaboration with Kear Radio, 95.9 FM. We've been talking to students from the University of Liberia Economics Department just concerning the recent challenge that they have entered and the advocacy plans, and as well as the research that they are going to do. We want to thank you for joining us. What I will do is I will give each person a time to go ahead and make the final statement out there, and then I will turn it over to our resident economist to make his final statement before we let you guys go. All right, so you can start from let's do the both guys on the sides, and then we'll give it to the senior man himself.
Yeah, Mingo. So, one reason for which I decided to study economics at the University of Liberia is because after graduating from high school, I started to make some observation, and my mother is involved into a small retail business, drinks business, and that business, though it has some struggle, but she manages it so well that she's able to get out to the family and then provide for me and make ends meet. But I got to observe that our Liberian economy is mostly dominated by foreigners, specifically the Lebanese and Indians. So when I sat and then after reading the University of Liberia entrance, I was like, well, women, why you want to go and read at university? I think you should go and do something that will make you to get involved into solving a problem that hinders your country's growth and stability. So I decided to go and study economics, meaning to be able to be one of those, if I'm not the one, but one of those that should be able to get a process to solve the idea of our economy being dominated by foreigners. And so now, seeing myself participating in a challenge that is trying to advocate for the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, I think I can say that maybe 10% or 5% of that aim of mine is being achieved. So for me, that is a plus and that is a means of, sure. So again, it's a privilege for me to appear here on the second time on Focus on Liberia. The first time I came, like I said, we were discussing unemployment, and it was a very great show. And then today again, it's a very great show. So, like my team members have been saying, we look forward to having an appearance in the nearest future. And it was a great time again. Thank you. Nice meeting you, Mr. Michael Padmo, and then Mr. Thomas B. Cannon. It was nice interacting with you. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Okay.
go ahead.
For me, Emmanuel, once again, Clechi, if you look at our country setting, a lot of challenges students are faced with. But despite all these challenges, I keep this promise to myself that for me, I won't give up because I now have to wait for somebody to motivate me or say, oh, I will sponsor you before I get there. I say no. Because when I was coming up, my father always used to tell me that it's good to be a lawyer. And I told him that I don't want to become a lawyer. I want to become an economist because looking at Liberia setting, my focus was on getting a lawyer degree and who will be able to hire me or do this, do that. So I said, going at the University of Liberia, reading economics will give me the privilege because our economists can go anywhere and fit there.
Sure.
But when I enter, I realized that my focus should be on the Liberian economy to see how best to straighten things up. So being part of this competition, I'm very excited for my voice to be heard out there, carrying on this awareness. And I and my team, we promise that we will not just turn our back from today, but we will always be here at any time waiting to appear here at any time because we are working as a team and we really need time to be on the radio station because as my team leader said, going with a G or Maryland. It requires fees. We don't have budget. We are not income and our own finance to go out there to small medium enterprise business people. So we like asking you to like to be like 2 or 5 times to be able to appear on Kear FM and in collaboration with Focus on Liberia to see how best our voice can reach out to the rural area to those who not in the urban area. So once again, it's a privilege having Mr. Palmer and Mr. Kane. Thank you for such a wonderful time and a good conversation. Thank you for adding up on what we just said to reach our voice out there to our leaders that they'll be able to work in line to see how best they can implement this policy. Thank you.
Okay.
So, firstly, I would like to appreciate the resident economist in our mind, including mode of what we want to do, adding more ingredients. But at least today, before entering here, I came here in a red mind to be here. President Boaka just I don't know if inspire Mandari also. He just accomplished one of what I wish to do to accomplish as an economist to ban the exportation of unprocessed raw material in my country because I rarely late John Pompi Magufuli when he came to power within his 2 years when he banned the exportation of raw material in Tanzania. Tanzania economy that GDP boasts 14% of the past, 14%, and within that stand, just for that measure, as banning the exportation of raw material. And I listened to him, I read a report. He said, if you are exporting our minerals, where and you are transforming it into finished goods, bringing it back, selling it to us at a high cost, bringing your company in Tanzania and producing what you want to produce with this, give our people jobs, create jobs for them, increase employment. So why can't you bring your company in Liberia and produce what you want to produce with our rubber? At least our people find job. So I'm using this medium to applaud President Joseph Numambwaka for the step taken to be here is one of my prayer. And I look forward one day for him to liberalize the Liberian market, give our business people loans with zero interest, trusted business people with zero interest. I look forward because when I'm not being I'm not trying to be like go or on the religious side, right? But when Ramadan, when it's Ramadan, you go into the market, you feel bad. The whole area is poor. You cannot see anybody. So the people are eh? Yeah, they are full of nas, they Liberian market and thing. Yeah. So I pray to the regulators, Liberian nas in the Liberian market, giving out loans to our business people with zero interest. They don't have to pay. If that 1 million you give them for a certain point in time, let it bring the 1 million back to you. Will have interest. They shouldn't be worrying to say, oh, I got to put percentage and thing. I think that would be okay. And to the host, Mr. Padmo, I want to appreciate you for enlightening us more, for at least giving us that warm welcome on this platform. I look forward to working with Focus Liberia, even if not about this agreement, but other pressing issue within the Liberian setting. Yeah. So once again, John Voss, my team, with the team Lux, representing the University of Liberia.
Team Lux.
Yeah,
Team
Team Lux. We want to extend our warm appreciation of the Kear Radio and the Focus Liberia for giving us this platform, for spreading our voices out there. It is something that we didn't expect it because we came here with $0, zero income in us. The three converts is here. We have zero income in us. Yeah. So coming on this platform to discuss the pressing issues to help us spread our message is something that we will forever appreciate. Yeah.
And then I would like to give a big shout out to Uncle Dennis. Yeah, he made it possible. Thank you so much, Uncle Dennis.
Yeah, thank you. They explained it well for us, to be honest. Thank you.
All right. So, okay, gentlemen. So we'll turn it over to our resident economist here, Thomas. Thomas, will you go ahead and give your closing, sir?
Thank you very much. So, like I said from the beginning, I was excited to come on today because Dennis told me there were some economic students that were coming from the University of Liberia. So we are all related. You know, we are all, you guys are learning to become economists, and we are practicing now. Maybe because of after some of you might be interested in doing trade economics. It's a specific branch of economics. When you do, you focus mostly on trade issues. So maybe when you finish your BSc and you're still interested in seeing how after will be implemented, because this is a long-term project. Maybe you can do your master's in trade economics. But it was good. I mean, the training that you went through, I think it gave you visibility on what the agreement itself is, the process that you follow from the adoption at the continental level to the ratification that took place in Liberia in 2019. And you have an idea of some of the stakeholders. But like I was saying, it has to be an entire government approach. Ministry of Public Works, we have to build the roads. Ministry of Finance, we have to make sure that finances are provided. One of the institutions we've not mentioned, but in the closing of the team lead, he mentioned was the issue of access to finance. And if our people need to trade across borders, they need to have access to what? To finance, right? And the institution that is responsible to build that ecosystem for them to have access to finance is the Central Bank of Liberia to manage the financial sector. So it's going to be everyone playing their role to make sure that we can trade. And my concern about AFTA is that if we, like I said from the beginning, if we don't add value to anything and we don't produce anything, we will continue to buy from others.
Sure.
Right now, we trade a lot with China, we trade a lot with India and other people. If Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, they build their capacity, we'll just be switching from trading with Asian countries to trading with African countries. And you know, when you import, you are on the losing end because you don't get the hard currency. You are always
Sure.
buying from other people. So this is why I think it's important. And I'm happy that you guys are young, as young people are involved in this because in the long run, what AFTA intends to achieve, adding 1.2% of GDP to Africa's GDP by 2045, that's where you guys will be active. Maybe you have your own businesses, maybe you have your own companies to trade across the continent. So we encourage you to continue to do this, work with the Ministry of Commerce, know what they are doing exactly, add it to what you are doing, and then to be able to move this forward. I will encourage you to continue. I was very excited about your and impressed with your presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We've had the University of Liberia economic students discussing a recent challenge they've been in associated with the African Trade Agreement going forward. And I also want to thank our resident economist here, Thomas Kanner, for joining us this Saturday to discuss this. So I just wanted to ask you guys, if people have been listening to the radio and or they hear this program on a later broadcast, how can they get in contact with you guys?
So we have our Facebook page just for this to spread our message called Team Lose slash ERC Economic Impact Challenge. Team Lose slash ERC.
When you
Or
say
you can
team lose, spell that for me, please.
LUX.
LUX.
Oh,
LUX.
okay,
It's a
okay,
motto
okay.
for the University of
Oh,
Liberia.
not Danny Leo. Real
No,
Leo,
our
eh?
original.
Yeah, original.
Okay.
Or
So
you can
team
reach out.
lose
Yeah.
and then EIC, is that it?
ERC. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay. And then how about if they wanted to just give you guys a call? You know, everybody now on Facebook now.
Yeah, so you can reach out to my WhatsApp number 0776 37 79 50. 0776 37 79 50. That's
And
my
what's your full
WhatsApp
name?
number.
What's your
Charles Glory Pa. Charles Glory Pa.
All right. So there you have it. If you want to reach out to these guys, if you've been listening, you have some ideas, you have some help, you have some connection to assist them with it. They are open to it. They've given you their telephone number, their WhatsApp number. They are also on Facebook. You can definitely reach out there. Team Looks, EIC, Economic Impact Challenge. That's what that stands for. So y'all get my number. I think Wilma got my number.
Yeah, you called me.
So
I got a number. I
definitely,
was there with my colleagues.
what I can do, to help the process, just keep in contact. I give you code. All right. So so yes, when you guys come back, let me tell you why I'll be looking forward to hearing from you. I'm really interested in commodities, a list of commodities that other countries need.
Yeah.
That Liberia can get in. Okay, I'm really interested in that. I'm also a member of the University of Liberia Alumni Association here in the Americas. When you guys doing this kind of thing, you need kind of help, you reach out to them. Okay? And the second call I'm giving you right there. So reach out to them. If you need a contact information, you let me know. Just send me a message. I will send it to you. Reach out to them. That's one of the reasons why they exist, to help promote the students, the present students in Liberia, to reach their own mark. Okay? And then to our homo gentleman over there who he told him to be lawyer, he said no. Let me tell you, economists are very big field. You can be a legal economist, okay?
Yeah.
You can do both. You can do your economics. When you're done, you can go to law school and you become a legal economist, okay? Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Then.
Don't stop. Don't stop. That's the message I'm giving to you. Don't stop where you are. Okay. All right, man. But it's been great to have you guys. Thank you for joining us. To our audience out there, thank you for joining us. We want to go ahead and just give our thanks for you for taking your time to join us this Saturday. And we look forward to next Saturday to meeting with you guys. We're going to have another guest on next Saturday. We'll announce that before Saturday. But look forward to joining with you guys. And gentlemen from university, good luck. Let's keep in touch. And let's take this thing beyond what you guys can think about. Okay? Yeah. Always keep your eyes open. All right. Thank you, gentlemen, as we close today.
We are Liberia. Liberia is our